Michelle here with the Dreaming Spanish update. I feel like it's been a really long time, but I'm still here, still doing my hours. I'm currently at 466 hours. Lately, I feel like I have been picking up the pace a little bit more, probably within the last 2 weeks. I feel like for the last month or month and a half, I was kind of finding time here and there, but it wasn't anything that I felt like it was consistent enough for myself. So, I still have those feelings of like, oh, I need to be doing more. But there's nothing that I can do if I don't get, an hour in the day before, like I can't change that. My goal is just to look forward and be present and just see like, what can I give now? And to keep it in the back of my head and knowing that I have a goal in mind that I want to do is really helpful when I notice that I create momentum with the hours. It's almost like I feel like I comprehend better when I create momentum within the hours, because sometimes I feel like if I stop and it's for too long, it's almost like when I get back on the bike, it's like I'm relearning how to listen again. So those are just some thoughts that I have in recently. And let's see. So some of the things that I started doing though lately is listening and watching the Dreaming Spanish videos multiple times. So I just learned that I'm just going to have it like just repetition for certain videos and just replay it over and over and over again. So like last week I had to drive somewhere and just going one way was 2 hours to get there. And so for about an hour and a half, I had one video that I had on repeat from Dreaming Spanish. And the reason that I do this is just like, I noticed that I start to like pick up on different words. Also, I noticed that a word that I didn't know, like when I first listened to the video, like I didn't like, I'm like, I don't get what that word means. But as I continue to listen to it multiple times, I was like, oh, that's what that word is. Because I started to put the sentence together. And so I feel like it's been really helpful. It's been really easy, but instead of me like scrolling through videos, sometimes when I'm just looking for things that are more so my interest, I find one video and then I just listen to it over and over and over again. So I started walking my dog consistently in the morning. And so I pick one video, and whenever that video ends, I just press continue watching and it replays it. So I just have that on a loop all morning. And then when I come home from walking my dog and I make breakfast, I continue to have that video on a loop as well. So just something new that I've been trying, and I am enjoying it as well. And it's great because I'm also learning that I am comprehending better and better and better. So I really appreciate that. One thing that I do that's outside of Dreaming Spanish is I do Duolingo. So every day I do one lesson in Duolingo. And for me, I enjoy Duolingo because I know in Dreaming Spanish, the focus is in grammar, but I do feel like with Duolingo, they do teach grammar and like the conjugations. And so I appreciate that because for me, it's just to understand the language better. And so, yeah, so every day I do a lesson of Duolingo, which I personally enjoy, and like they break it down. And then also there is the repetition within Duolingo as well. So I started doing Duolingo years ago, and I've noticed that Duolingo has upgraded the way they do things. Even like one of the lessons will be like a podcast. So it's just pure listening and answering the questions. And at the end, I've had where I have to actually type out like a summary, like it'll ask a question, like what did Bea learn in this story or whatever it is. And they give you some prompts, which is helpful, but I have to be the one who answers that question with the Spanish that I know. So I find that really helpful. And somehow they're scoring it and they're looking at their grammar and correcting it as well. So thumbs up to Duolingo in that sense. One thing that I noticed too is that I'm not noticing that my speaking is getting better. No, I'm not able to have like a full fluent conversation. But recently we were somewhere and it was like a food court setting. So like, if it's packed and people are just looking for places to sit after they order their food, and a lady came and sat down and she was like asking me about my food. She's like, "Oh, is it good?" And she said, yeah. And I said, "Yes." Oh, no. She didn't say that. She sat down, but I noticed that she was part of like a party of like 4 or 5. And they were kind of trying to fill in gaps because there wasn't like one section that could fit, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 of them. And so I told her, because it was kind of loud in there, I said, "We're going to be leaving soon." And she was kind of like, "Huh?" And I was like, "We're going to be leaving soon." And she's like, "I don't speak English." And I was like, "Oh." And I said, "Español?" Oh, because she said, "No hablo inglés." And I said, "Oh, español?" And she said, "Sí." And I said, "Oh, vamos a salir pronto." And that's what came to my mind. But I also learned that you can also say like, "Ya casi nos vamos." Like that's what, people who speak Spanish would normally say, not necessarily have to be proper. So I said that to her. And then she asked me about my food in Spanish, which I understood. And then I told her like, es picante, because I was eating ramen. And I asked her where she was from, and she had told me where she was from. And so there was a mini conversation, and I really felt proud of myself because I was like, I did that. So dreaming Spanish is working. Is it like, I'm just grateful from where I'm at right now, because I can think of like, oh, I'm not doing enough, and oh, I'm not there yet. And it's like, it's okay, because when I get in these moments where I'm put on the spot, it's like, I'm doing great and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's just a reminder to keep on putting the hours in. And yeah, trusting the process is basically what it is with Dreaming Spanish. So I'm looking forward to that. And yes, that is my update for today. And how are y'all doing? How y'all been? How's life? How's your inputting of hours? How's that going for you? Please share a micro win or a macro win with me. I'd love to hear about that. And I hope you're all doing well, and I'll keep you posted in the next update. Take care. Ciao.